Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us this evening for the Countdown to Islander Launch webinar. We appreciate you taking some time out of your evening to learn a little bit about your next steps to make sure that you have a smooth class registration process. I want to get started and introduce myself. My name is Rini. I'm the Director of Campus Visits at the university and your host today. And we are joined by a few professionals across the university to help you get your questions answered about various services on campus and also remind you of different next steps that you need to take in order to have a successful class registration process, like I said earlier. And so I want to remind everybody that this session is being recorded and that you'll be able to find the recording on our campus tour website, which is tour.tamucc.edu. And there's a link that says webinars and online experiences. You'll find this recording posted by end of week. So in case you need to watch this later, you're welcome to do so. We are going to utilize the Q&A feature during this webinar. So if you have any questions throughout the presentation, please feel free to ask any questions that you might have. And just so that we can test the Q&A feature, if you can let us know where you're from. Go ahead and let us know where you're from in the Q&A. We want to make sure that it's working and that we can proceed. So if you can let us know where your hometown is, we would really appreciate that. Alrighty, I see Wiley, San Antonio, Corpus Christi, Katie. Great, it is working. All right, so moving forward, this presentation is going to cover some important details about orientation. We're going to quickly talk about the schedule of events, what to expect at the event itself, how to add a guest if you're looking to bring a family member. We'll then tell you what steps you need to take prior to coming to orientation, and then most importantly, the steps you need to take in order to have that successful class registration. So to kick it off, talking about orientation itself, here are the different event dates that we are hosting. As you can see, a lot of the dates on the left have already closed. So most of you in the call probably are already registered for orientation. If you have not yet registered yet, we still have availability for events in June and July. If you're maybe starting here for summer session 1 or summer session 2, we'd encourage you to come to a May 28th or May 29th event. You can see that registration has closed for those dates, but you can email us at islanderlaunch@tamucc.edu so that we can make sure that you get registered for the appropriate event. There is also an opportunity for transfer students to come to an orientation on June 2nd. So if you're interested in transferring over, you've graduated high school and have gone elsewhere, we still have availability on June 2nd for transfer students. If you've registered for an orientation and you maybe have to change your orientation date, feel free to send us an email at islanderlaunch@tamucc.edu and we can work to switch your date to one that's available. But keep in mind that once you're moved and an event is closed, you can't go into a closed event. We also have some dates posted down below that we're calling overflow events. If you log into the orientation page, you won't see registration open for those just yet. We really encourage you to come to an earlier orientation, and so you won't see those just yet. And if we happen to have the demand, we'll open those here pretty soon. So just quickly want to touch on the orientation agenda. If you're bringing a family member with you to Islander Launch, you and your family member will sit through these presentations together. You'll see that the day kicks off at 8:30 a.m. That's when you'll be able to go in and get checked in, have a light breakfast with us, and then we'll kick off the presentation starting at 9:15, where you'll meet a current student talking about university traditions and giving you some tips and tricks for a successful transition to college. We'll then have a student success session, a small break. You'll learn about campus essentials like your student ID card. We'll touch on that here as well. We'll touch on financial aid, and then of course, academic advising. After 11:30, students and parents are going to break off to their own sessions. So if you're bringing a parent with you or a family member or guardian, they will go to their own sessions and students will go to their own as well. Students, you'll go to lunch and have lunch with other students that are enrolling at the university. You'll then go to an organization fair called Passport to the Island. And at that point, once that's concluded, you're going to follow different groups throughout the day to learn about campus technology, meet friends, but most importantly, also get registered for classes. While the students are doing that and getting in their courses, families are going to have lunch with university representatives, have an opportunity to go on a campus tour, enjoy a quick break, meet our dean of students, and also be able to ask any questions that they might still have lingering towards the end of the day by sitting through a campus experts panel. If you still need to register a family member to come to orientation with you, you can do so by going online to orientation.tamucc.edu. Click on the Families button and the Family Registration portal. You'll then enter your student ID number. The guest fee is $50, and we encourage you to really only consider bringing, a close family member. This isn't designed for a friend or a neighbor, anything like that. So the information really is geared more towards your parent or guardian. And so that's we recommend that we bring with you because remember, students follow their own track in the afternoon and families will listen to their own presentations as well. And we strongly encourage for families to register at least 1 week prior to the event so that we have the proper materials prepared for you. All right, so that was a quick overview of Islander Lunch. We want to talk about our Sand Dollar services quickly, along with our Sand Dollar ID card. So I'll have Trennan unmute himself. And again, if you have any questions, please feel free to let us know, and we'll make sure to answer those during the presentation. Trennan, the floor is yours.
Perfect. Thanks, Rini. I just wanted to say thank y'all so much for hopping on this afternoon. I know it's a little bit, but I mean, I appreciate y'all. You can go ahead and go to the next slide. So, for those of you that don't know, my name is Trennan Cavanaugh. I'm Assistant Director for University Services here on campus. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about what exactly those services are. Real quick, I'm not going to go into too much detail right now because we do have the sessions that'll go into a little bit more detail as we go during the orientations. Our scheduled time at the orientation is the 10:15, the campus essentials. So we'll be able to go into detail on a lot of those services at that time. But I just wanted to give a quick rundown of what University Services and Sand Dollar Services actually is and the support that we provide here on campus. So University Services delivers auxiliary support to the university to promote institutional excellence and success, to enhance the campus experience in areas such as Islander dining, campus store, mail services, print services, and the ID card as well. So the Sand Dollar ID card, all of those services kind of relate back to that main card. That's really going to be your first stop here on campus. You need that. That's going to be your primary identification here at the university throughout your time here. You need it to pick up packages at mailroom. You need it to go into the Islander dining, a lot of those other services and everything that are provided. It's actually your key to your dorm or your residence hall here on campus. So it's really essential that you get that taken care of in one of um, the first time you visit here on campus during your orientation or before move-in. So if you want to go to the next slide, I can do a quick rundown of how to get your Sand Dollar ID. We try to make it as smooth and seamless as possible so you avoid waiting in lines and everything like that during move-in. So the first step is, of course, I mean, we have some terms of service. It's just to let us know, hey, you're not gonna check the card, you're not gonna use someone else's card, everything like that. Just a real generic terms and conditions of the card. After that is accepted, that'll actually allow you to submit your own photo for the card. It's highly recommended that you do this ahead of time so you're not waiting at the Sand Dollar office in order to get your card and take your picture and go through that whole process. If you submit it ahead of time, we'll have your card ready to go, ready to pick up right there. And that will really help alleviate a lot of that stress of the getting there, and really all of those services. So once you submit your photo, I don't know if you're familiar, it'll be more like a passport photo. We're a little bit more lenient. Hopefully, we help out on in that. You're allowed to smile, but just we ask no hats, no friends in the picture, everything like that. Just and it should be you should hear back on whether it was approved or not. And then, of course, if you have any questions on those services that I mentioned, or the actual process to get that ID ahead of time, you can always reach out to University Services. The links are all down there with the email. And then, of course, if there's any questions that come up here, I'd be happy to answer during the actual webinar. So I think that was really it for me, Rainey. If
Good job.
anyone had any questions, I mean, I'd be happy to answer on those services.
I actually have a question for
Sure.
myself. When will students start getting email communications about uploading their photos?
So that will go out here in the next week or so.
Okay,
So just be on the lookout on your Islander email for those communications. We'll share the links as well that are here. But those should be coming out here in the next week or so.
perfect. And
Mhm.
as y'all saw on the schedule, there isn't a designated time for you to go and actually take your picture at their office. So it's really important that you get this uploaded in advance so that when you have downtime at the event, you can just go pick it up and then you'll be prepared for move-in and what it is that you need to do using these cards.
Exactly. Perfect.
Okay, so somebody is asking, where do you pick up the $10 card if you register for it online?
Yeah.
And so,
So, oh no, you want to go ahead?
no, go ahead.
The
Go ahead.
Sand Dollar office, on campus, it's actually in the University Center, on the first floor. It should be right next to the campus store. I think it's technically 108, but yeah, right next to the campus store on the first floor. We'll be happy. We're open the whole day. We'll be fielding all those questions, anything, and doing pickup. And if you hadn't or your photo got declined for whatever reason, we'll be there to take pictures and process that, but it will take a little bit longer. But University Center, first floor.
Thank you.
Mhm.
All right, so moving on to the bacterial meningitis vaccination requirement.
Awesome. So I can go ahead and get started, you guys. My name is Carrie Carrasco. I am an admissions counselor here at the university. So you may have gotten an email from me at one point or another if you're from the Houston area. But as far as the vaccination record goes, that is something that all Texas higher education requires is the bacterial meningitis vaccination record. So it's not just a Corpus Christi thing, it's all of Texas. You would be, for the most part, required to get the vaccination record unless one of the following applies. So, as far as what can apply, the first one would be an automatic one. So, if you're age 22 or older on the first day of the semester, then you would be automatically exempt from the bacterial meningitis vaccination record requirement. If you plan to enroll in fully online courses, you would also be exempt. Just make sure to fill out that waiver form that we have on our website. I do have the website QR code here on this page, as well as the actual URL. If you cannot take the vaccine because it would be injurious to your health and well-being, or if you decline the vaccine for reasons of conscience, including a religious belief, all of those sorts of exemptions do require actual paperwork from your doctor or affidavits on our website. So make sure to fill out, scan our QR code, and then fill out those forms. Those forms can take a little bit of time to actually process too, so we want to make sure we get the ball rolling on that. When is this due? So students should provide their documentation through MedProctor prior to actually attending their Islander launch, because you will have a registration hold on your account until you actually attend your launch. So hopefully we can get that lifted so that way you don't have any problems with registering for classes during launch. Another thing to keep in mind, your vaccination must be no more than 5 years old from the date that you first enroll. So if your vaccination record is any older than that, we would require a booster vaccination. And on MedProctor, there is a $15 processing charge, so keep that in mind too. On the right-hand side, I do have lined out to what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. Again, more details are going to be on our website, so if you scan the QR code or go to tamu.cc/BMV, that way you can actually find the link to the MedProctor portal. And now on the next slide, I'm kind of going to go over what to do to submit. So assuming everyone's hopefully admitted, you do need to be admitted to be able to access your MedProctor portal. You'll be logging into MedProctor using your student credentials and your single sign-in on Duo Mobile. So after you do officially sign in, you'll be prompted to go ahead and set up your account. There's a couple of things that you do need to double check when you are setting up your account. So on the right-hand side, I kind of have a bullet point. So make sure that your entry term is correct, which is your admissions term. So most people here would probably be fall 2026. And then indicate if you'll be residing on campus most freshmen are going to be living on campus because it is a requirement for most freshmen. And then set the population requirement grouped field to the general population. All right. And then from there, you will be able to finish setting up your profile. So to get your little profile icon to turn green, you do need to fill out the end user license agreement. Really simple agreement, just fill out your full name and your student ID. From there, you'll just click continue, and then your little profile icon should turn green, and that's how you know you're done with that step. And then from there, you'll be able to actually submit your record. And then when submitting your record, make sure to click on the status tab at the top of the screen, and then click submit another document. As far as your documents go, if you are using the immunization certificate provided by MedProctor, just click immunization certificate. If you're using the document from your doctor, make sure to submit it as supporting documentation instead. PRF or JPEG files are preferred. And then again, just keep in mind it is $15 to submit the vaccine. At minimum, the document should include your full name, vaccination brand, and date of administration.
Carrie, there's a question in the chat. Someone is asking that, or is saying that she keeps getting notifications stating that she does not have the vaccine, but she did upload the shot record. And she got in contact with an admissions counselor, and they told her that she's good, but she just wants to make sure that it has been uploaded and is good to go. Is there a way to
Yeah.
verify?
So if you go to the next slide, it does have info on how to actually verify it. So I would suggest you probably either one, you can log into Med and Proctor and see if it shows as accepted or not. But the most sure way is to check your SAIL portal for your holds. So if you do have the bacterial meningitis vaccination hold, that's how you would know that we still don't have the record. But definitely get into contact with your admissions counselor. That way we can double check. Sometimes it's as simple as us receiving it, but maybe the hold wasn't lifted for whatever reason. So yeah, just make sure to reach out to us and we're happy to take care of it.
Great. Thank you.
All right. And then moving on to submitting your transcripts. So there's going to be two kinds of transcripts you guys will need to make sure that you are submitting. If you did take any dual college credit, there would be two transcripts. If you didn't take any college credit, then just make sure to submit your final high school transcript upon graduation. Also, like any AP scores, anything like that, make sure to send those in to us before your orientation. That way we can just make sure that you're taking the correct classes. Another thing to note, if you're taking college prep math or English, we do need your final high school transcript to be able to waive that TSI requirement, which I know Dr. Sperry will be talking about a little bit in the coming slides. But yeah, without your final transcripts, a registration hold will go into effect in September. So it's kind of easy to just forget it once you do officially graduate. So go ahead and order that now. That way we have it on file and you're not scrambling to register for springtime classes. And on the right-hand side is a little refresher about how to actually send your transcripts. So for electronic transcripts, you can send it through one of the following services to our admissions email, which is admis@tamucc.edu. So you can submit it through Naviance, through T-Rex, through Parchment, National Student Clearinghouse. Keep in mind, we're not going to accept any emailed PDF transcripts, so make sure to send it officially to us. And as far as mailing it goes, you can definitely mail it over to us as well. Just make sure it's in a sealed, unopened envelope from your school directly. And then you can send it over to us to our address, which is 6300 Ocean Drive, Unit 5774 in Corpus Christi, Texas. And then with major changes, so this might not ever apply to everyone here, but some of you may need to change your major before you actually attend orientation. If you're thinking about changing your major, definitely do so before your orientation. That way you can make sure you're taking the right classes, but also that you're meeting with the correct academic advising team. So if you do need to change your major, this has to be completed. This form should only be completed before you actually register for classes. So you can go to tamu.cc/change major form or scan the QR code here. If you do need to change your major, just make sure to do so well in advance before your orientation because it can take 5 to 7 business days for your major to actually be updated in your SAIL account. If for whatever reason orientation comes around and you do register for classes and you do decide to change your major, just contact your academic advisor. They'd be happy to help you. Same goes for adding a minor to your degree plan as well. Just contact your academic advising team.
There was a question going back to transcripts. Someone is asking that if they come to an early orientation in May, their final transcripts may not be available. Can they bring an unofficial transcript and still register for classes?
Yeah, I do believe you can bring an unofficial transcript, and probably the advising team would probably be best able to help with that. But I believe if you bring an unofficial one, you can still tentatively enroll, just assuming that you do finish those classes before the fall.
Yeah,
Yeah.
correct.
Awesome. Moving on to the application fee. Again, this might not apply to everyone. Some people might have already gotten this taken care of. If you are a PSA student, for example, your application fee is already waived. If your school counselor did provide you with a fee waiver, make sure to email that over to us if you haven't already, which is admis@tamucc.edu. But yeah, it's another thing that's kind of easy to forget about after you submit your application. Just make sure to go in there and pay the application fee. I do have that QR code on the screen. You can go to tamu.cc/app fee. It is a $40 app fee. And it's not an automatic payment. So once you do submit that payment, allow a couple of days for our team to update your account. And then we can make sure that's all taken care of again before your orientation. If you're not too sure if that's taken care of, again, make sure to check your holds on your SAIL account or send us an email to admis@tamucc.edu.
Thank you, Carrie. All right, moving on to TSI.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rita Sperry. I'm the Director of College Readiness and Academic Support, and I'm here to talk to you about the Texas Success Initiative, the TSI. This is a requirement for all public institutions in Texas. So just like the bacterial meningitis, it's not just a Corpus Christi thing. It's a public higher education system thing in Texas. And so all students who are incoming to TAMU-CC are required to have a TSI status. And what that means is that we need to have a status in math, writing, and reading in order for you to be eligible to enroll in courses. So I know this can sometimes be confusing for students because there's lots of rules involved and also, the test optional thing. We are test optional for admission, but for enrollment, everyone must have a TSI status. And until they do, students will have a TS hold on their account that will prevent them from registering. That hold is automatically lifted once they have a complete status in math, writing, and reading. So I'm going to talk to you now about how you get that status. Um, so you can check it yourself. You can go into your SAIL account at sail.tamucc.edu. If you click on student and then profile and view TSI status, you can see something similar to what's on the screen. You can see your TSI information, and below that, you'll see your status for math, writing, and reading. This example on the screen shows a student who is college ready in math and is exempt in writing and reading. So you'll see those in green and blue there as an example of a student who has things turned in and is college ready. The next slide shows what it looks like when you're missing a status. So it's in red. It says not complete, but what that means is we don't have a status for you. And then the overall status will say no TSI status on file. So this is what it looks like for students who are missing a status. And so these students would not be eligible to register for classes. So if you could go on to the next slide. I'm going to talk to you about how you get a status. And there's lots of ways you can get a status. One is to take the TSI assessment, which many of you probably have done. So that's one way students get a TSI status. The other way is where you can qualify for one of many exemptions or waivers. So I'm going to briefly talk through each of those. We have been emailing those of you registered for Islander Launch with your current status. And I just wanted to give you a heads up. We are going to be emailing you 4 weeks out, 2 weeks out, and 1 week out with an update of what your status is because we want to double make sure, triple, quadruple make sure that it's accurate and up to date so you're registered appropriately. Okay, so if you have taken the TSI, we sometimes have students come to us and say, well, I've taken the TSI, why don't I have a status? Likely because TAMU-CC doesn't have your scores. And so you need to have those scores submitted to TAMU-CC. These scores must be have been taken within the past 5 years. And the preferred method is through something called the AccuPlacer portal. So the system through which you take your TSI, there's a system within AccuPlacer to request for those scores to be sent to TAMU-CC. If you don't know how to access that, you can just email us. So college.readiness@tamucc.edu. We can help you look up your scores. If you think you took the TSI but don't remember when, you can give us permission to look up scores on your behalf. So if you're confused about whether or not you even took the TSI, we can help with that as well. If you still need to take the TSI, so if I go over all these exemptions and waivers and none of those apply to you, so you think you might still need to take the TSI, luckily our testing center on campus offers it. They offer it in person or online, so you could take it virtually. And so I have their information there, atcweb@tamucc.edu, or you can call them to set up an appointment to take the TSI. Next. Okay, so the next couple slides are a little wordy, but I wanted to include all the information that you might need. This is a list of the most common exemptions from the TSI that our students come to us with. The first two are based on standardized tests, the SAT and ACT. So there's scores you can earn exemptions with from the TSI. So for math and ELAR, which covers both reading and writing. And so you can be exempt in math, but not college ready in reading and writing. And so your status could be different, obviously, for math and ELAR. So you can see the scores on the screen for the SAT, the ACT, and math and ELAR. For both of those, you need to send official scores from their website. So from the SAT website or the ACT website, you log into your portal there where you go to look at your scores. There's an easy button there to have them submitted to TAMU-CC. And so we need to receive them officially. And those as well need to have been taken within the past 5 years. Once you send those scores to us, once they're processed, your exemption is, can you go back?
Sorry.
Your exemption is automatically processed. It's okay. The other common types of exemptions have to do with having college credit for English 1301 or the equivalent, or any college level math course. So you can earn that through AP credit, dual credit, even IB if you're part of an IB program, CLEP if you take a CLEP exam, any college credit for a math course, college level math course, or a course that comes in equivalent to our 1301 for English will make you college ready in those areas. And to earn those exemptions, you need to submit your official college transcripts. So even if it's dual credit, sometimes students get confused about this. If it's dual credit, it needs to be the college transcript. We can't take dual credit from a high school transcript. It needs to be the college credit. And then another common exemption is if you already have an associate's degree. Some of you might have graduated high school with an associate's. That can exempt you from TSI as well. Some people don't know that. And so all we need to have for that is your official college transcript showing you graduated with an associate's degree, and we can apply that exemption. Are there any questions yet?
There are a couple, so I think you've answered them, but I just want to
Okay.
ask them out loud. Do you need TSI scores for all reading, writing, and math?
Yes. Yeah, in order to register for classes, we have to have statuses for all three.
Okay. Someone is asking, what if they are enrolled in the summer bridge program for math during July?
Mhm. So if they're enrolled in Summer Bridge, that means we've already gotten a status for them, and that's how they were eligible for Summer Bridge. I also run that program. So yes, if they're in Summer Bridge, we'll make sure they have all their TSI stuff.
And then someone is asking if I've taken it already and plan on doing it again, am I able to send the new score after they've already submitted and sent the old one?
Yes. Yes. So the bigger deal is that we have a score that makes you eligible to register for classes, but if you get an updated score that makes you college ready, you can send those in too. And then if it's if it's after you've already come to launch, then you might need to update your class schedule.
Okay. And then just to confirm, if I've passed a math college level class or passed an English level college class, I'm exempt as long as you submit as long as they submit the transcripts.
Yes, correct. College transcript. Yay.
Good.
Okay, the
Okay.
other very common way students get a status is through some type of college prep or Texas College Bridge program that they complete while they're still in high school. It's become very popular among high schools in Texas. So some of you might have taken a college prep course in math or ELAR, English. And so as long as you got a 70 or better average for the year, that qualifies you for what's called a House Bill 5 waiver. And for that, Carrie mentioned this earlier, we need an official high school transcript showing that, which I know those of you at the earlier launches might not have yet. So yes, please bring your unofficial transcript showing your final grades in those courses. And I have special powers that we can use that to get you registered for classes appropriately based on that, assuming that your official high school transcript is coming. And then Texas College Bridge has seen a big growth in the past couple of years among our students. So this is an online modular program you can do to earn a certificate for college readiness. And so if you have that certificate, once you get the certificate through Texas College Bridge, you're given access to something called Greenlight Locker, and there's a way in there to submit that to us as an academic institution. That's the formal way to submit it to us. So you'll submit it through the Greenlight Locker portal. If you need help with that, we've become kind of pros at helping students with that. So you can just email us or call us, and we can help you through that Greenlight Locker situation.
Someone was
Sure.
asking just how they can check if they've sent their college transcripts over for the exemptions.
So that's admissions. I don't know if anyone wants to answer
Gary,
on
do you want
that.
to touch on that one?
Yeah, sure. You can send us a quick email. You can email either recruitment@tamucc.edu or admis@tamucc.edu. We'd be happy to check, one, if we received your transcript, but also two, how recently you sent in your transcript, because you're probably sending multiple. Some classes might still be in progress, so we can check and see if we had your final grades or not.
Yeah, and if you email us, we'll just email admissions to ask on your behalf. So I do want to mention these House Bill 5 waivers for college prep and Texas College Bridge are waivers, which are slightly different than exemptions, and sometimes students come to us not aware of this. And what it means is that you're waived once you start college, you're waived from TSI requirements for your first year of college, which means you must take a college level math or English within that first year and complete it, or the waiver expires and you might have to go back and take the TSI. So you will be reminded of this many, many, many times by our team in your first year that you need to take your college level math or English in your first year if you want to use this waiver. Okay, next. Okay, sometimes we get the question from students about what if I took the TSI and it says I'm not college ready? Does that mean I can't come to college? No. You have been admitted to TAMU-CC. You're coming to TAMU-CC. We still uh, we love to have you as part of our school. But the bigger deal, like I said before, is that we have that TSI score that says college ready, not college ready, whatever, because that's what makes you eligible to register for classes. And like someone asked before, you can take the TSI as many times as you want to become college ready in an area. If it's just, one area like math or just the essay portion of the ELAR, you can just retake that as many times as you want to become college ready. We will enroll you at Islander Launch based on your current TSI status. So like I said before, um, we will do our best to get you enrolled at Islander Launch based on your current status or including any documentation you show us that day. Um, and then it could be that if you retake the TSI afterwards, then you would need to update your schedule based on that. And so, if you're not yet college ready, what happens is I know some of you, or maybe some of your parents, might be familiar with what we call developmental courses. We don't have those at TAMU-CC, and most of Texas is moving away from that model because it was never a very successful model. And so what we have at TAMU-CC is what are called co-requisites. And so that means you take the college level math or the college level English 1301, but you take a support course alongside it. So for our students who are not yet college ready, when they take their first math or English, they take a support course with it. And all that really means is extra time. And so our support course for English is a 1 credit course. So that means instead of meeting 3 hours a week with your English class, you meet for 4 hours a week. So it gives you more time with the instructor to make sure you're understanding the material, getting support you need to be successful in the course. Because what we've learned over the years of doing this for many, many years is that a lot of students is not really another course they need. It's more time with the instructor. And so that's our model that we use both for English and math. Go to the next one. Okay, so my advice for those of you who may not yet be college ready in math or ELAR, English, is like I said before, take it in your first year. Research shows the longer you wait to take math, I know sometimes people really want to put it off or avoid it, but actually the longer you wait, the worse the results, because if you don't use it, you lose it type thing. So please take math in your first year, if either in the fall or the spring, because sometimes it works out better in the spring. And the same thing with English. We do prefer taking English 1301 in the fall if possible, just because it's meant to be a course to help you with your writing in college. So ideally, you take it as early as possible. And we do have some deadlines for students who are not yet college ready, that you must make your first attempt at your courses in math or English within your first 24 hours. So basically your first 2 semesters. So we have that deadline for students. Okay, and so this last slide is just how to get in contact with us. Like I said before, we'll be emailing you multiple times before you come to us at Islander Launch, but in case you want to reach out to us, we have a website, tsi.tamucc.edu. That's where we have all the instructions for all the exemptions and waivers and what type of documentation is needed. You have our email and then our phone number. If there's any other questions, I can try to answer those.
I think we are good with questions. And if y'all have any other questions about the
Awesome.
TSI,
Thank
feel
you.
free to submit them. And then at the end, we'll ask Dr. Sperry. All right, so moving on to academic advising, we'll pass this over to Tracy.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tracy Solis, and I am a College of Business Advisor. I'm here on behalf of the Islander Advising Center. So today I'll be talking to you about preparing for class registration and a little bit of academic advising. So we do have a QR code here on the right-hand side. If you can, I do encourage you to scan it. This is going to be our academic advising syllabus. So it does further elaborate on what academic advising is, what are the goals, the responsibilities on behalf of the advisor and the student, and some expected student learning outcomes. So in essence, what academic advising is going to be a collaborative partnership between the advisor and the student. So we both have to actively participate to ensure that we're meeting our shared responsibility and that you guys are achieving your academic success through your journey here. So we are here for you. We're here to support you. We are in your corner. So a couple of things on what to expect. Your Islander launch orientation will begin soon. There are a couple of things that we recommend to keep in mind since you will be registering at orientation. So we did touch base on sending admissions your official transcripts and your AP scores, making sure that you can log into your CEL account, reviewing your major's course plan, taking a look into degree works, and then getting ready to use Navigate, as well as learning about what University Seminar is. So I'm going to touch a little bit into more details about each of these bullet points shortly. So transcripts and test scores. So as it was mentioned, we do need your official transcripts to be sent directly from that college that awarded your dual credit. So wherever you completed your dual credit at, please ensure that you submit your official transcripts to the university. Any dual credit that was listed on your high school transcript cannot be used by admissions to award or apply credit. That is why we need your official transcript from that institution. So as it was mentioned, it can be sent electronically or via mail. no emailed PDFs. And then if you do have your AP scores awarded, you can send those to College Board via the TAMU-CC code 0366. Now, Sail, DegreeWorks, Navigate, these are going to be three tools that you will use while you're here at the institution. So Sail is going to be your student portal. We want to make sure that you can log in with your Island ID. So if you haven't done so yet, I encourage you to begin attempting to access it. This is how you're going to register for classes and even see your schedule for the upcoming semesters and a little bit more. DegreeWorks is a tool that tracks your degree progress and lists your degree requirements. So if you start to look into what your degree requires, that is going to be visually accessible through also your DegreeWorks account. And then Navigate is going to be your go-to tool for making sure that you're staying on track at TAMU-CC. So you can use it to schedule advising appointments, get reminders, and stay connected with your advisor and campus resources. Now on the left-hand side, if you'd like, you can go ahead and scan the QR code to access Sail and DegreeWorks. So if you can't use the QR code, that's totally fine. You can type in sail.tamucc.edu. So as I mentioned, Sail is that student portal that will contain a bunch of information regarding your contact information. This is how you can register for classes and even pay your tuition. But when you access the page at the bottom of the Sail student portal page is where you will see Sail login. And then if you want to log into your DegreeWorks, which is where you can see your degree requirements, it'll be located on that left-hand side where it says log into DegreeWorks. And then for Navigate 360, so if you haven't downloaded yet, please feel free to download it today. It is available through the App Store and Google Play. So we do have that QR code there, but if it's not working on your end, or the QR code is not working in general, then you can go ahead and search Navigate 360 Student on the App Store or Google Play. And beginning May 28th is when you can find Texas A&M University Corpus Christi. And in order to log in, you do have to use your Islander credential. So this will be the same as your university email login. So again, this is how you're going to schedule your appointments and stay connected with the institution and campus resources. Now, PSA students, so the Program for System Admission, which is an alternative admission program for selected students to Texas A&M University. PSA students, while you're here at TAMU-CC, your academic advisor is going to guide you on requirements for your PSA plan to make sure that you are on track. And if you want to learn a little bit more information, you can definitely scan the QR code. But if you have any questions, please feel free to contact the advisor. Now, University Seminar, which is USSE 1201, is going to be a class that will provide skills and strategies for personal and academic success. So this class, all first-time in college students will have to enroll in USSE 1201, your University Seminar. It is further divided between majors or colleges, so your advisor will help you in making sure that you're making the right selection. We're very excited to welcome you to TAMU-CC. We are thrilled to see you at Islander Launch, but it's important that you know that you've got this and we've got you every step of the way. Now, preparing for registration session. So that registration session will take place in the afternoon per the agenda. So we do encourage you to bring a couple of items with you if it hasn't been to the submitted to the university yet. So that dual credit, if you can bring your transcript, if you have a copy of it, please bring it. So that way we can ensure that you are not retaking any courses that you already have credit in. Any AP courses, so same case, if you took any AP exams, complete AP courses, please ensure that you can access your College Board account or if you have your records or your scores, so that way we can ensure that you are not retaking those classes. I will make a note for our PSA students. There is going to be a section of bold italicized courses on your PSA plan. Any credit by examination cannot satisfy that area. So AP exams or AP scores, CLEP or IB will not satisfy those areas. This is specifically for PSA. And then for your math background, so we do want to know what is the highest level of math that you completed in high school. There are some majors that will require a certain level of math, and so we want to make sure that we are placing you in the correct level of math that you are eligible to take. And then for the TSI status, so make sure that you bring in your TSI sheet, the college readiness sheet with you to the registration session. So that way we can make sure that we're placing you again in the correct areas. And then if you have any SAT or ACT scores, please bring those along with you as well.
So Tracy, before we go on to the next slide, just to reiterate,
Mhm.
for the students coming to an early orientation, if we don't have their dual credit transcripts on file or AP scores on file just yet, what do you recommend that they do?
So if you can bring an unofficial or whatever is available at the moment, a transcript with you, so that way we can advise you on the basis of, this is what you're currently taking. And then once we have the official scores or the credit already reflecting, or you have the transcript, we can make changes if need for the fall schedule, or we can continue with the current recommended courses for the fall semester.
Okay, and so students, this is important to remember is that you have to advocate for yourself in the advising session. You need to speak up. If you for sure know that you have taken a class already, you should not register for that class. And so this is just a reminder also that parents will not be in the advising room. This is an opportunity for our students to start building relationships with the academic advisors. But if changes need to be made, we can always do that at the end of orientation as well.
So another friendly reminder is please make sure that you have ready access to your Island ID and password. You will be logging into the computers and logging into your SAIL account. Making sure that your Duo is set up on your phone through your phone number. So specifically, the phone device that you will be using while you're here at the institution, please ensure that Duo is set up on that phone, because it will ask to authenticate that it is you attempting to log into your account. So we want to make sure that you can validate it in that moment. And then check your phone battery. If it is low, we encourage you to bring a charger, so that way, again, when Duo is wanting to authenticate that you are trying to log in, we can definitely do so. And if you haven't downloaded it yet, you have the QR codes below, the Duo for Android and the Duo for iPhone.
We might be confusing some students a little bit because
Okay.
now they're asking if they have to bring hard copies with them to orientation. Remember, Dr. Sperry mentioned how you can check your status in your SAIL account. If you are green or blue, that means you're good. And the system knows that you are exempt or you're waived. So you don't need to bring anything because it's already in our system. If maybe you're still enrolled in a college class or official transcripts haven't officially been received here, then it's a good idea to bring a hard copy with you. But it's not required if you're already in a good status for the TSI.
And then lastly, on the left-hand side, we have a QR code to schedule an appointment with an academic advisor. So this is broken down between college and schools. So for example, under the College of Business, you will find a list of advisors, and we do go by the alphabet, but other colleges or schools might go by a different organization. So please feel free to go through it and scroll and find your advisor. And then on the right-hand side, you can see the QR code for our Islander Advising Center Instagram page. Encourage you to follow us on there. We do post some information. And then if you have any questions or concerns, you can also reach us at the academic advising at tamucc.edu. Or you can visit us in the Faculty Center Suite in room 104. We're located right next to Starbucks.
Okay, so that wraps up the presentations for this webinar. We've talked a lot about what it is that you need to do to prepare for the event, what to expect at the event, how to be ready for class registration. If there are any questions, please feel free to put them in the Q&A, and we will work to get those answered before we wrap up here tonight. This is a good question. Do we have to schedule an advising appointment at orientation if we're already scheduled for the event? No, we will assign the student an advising appointment at orientation, and you'll follow a group into the advising room. So you do not need to schedule an appointment with advising for that day. Let's see if there's any other questions. Do you suggest setting an appointment with your advisor before orientation? Tracy, I'll let you answer that one.
You can definitely do so. We are happy to help answer any questions that you may have, or even take a look into, what you would like to do for the remainder of your time here at the university, even talk about other academic goals or career goals that you may have in mind. But registration will take place during orientation.
We had a couple of questions about the honors program. One of them was talking about, or earlier in the webinar, someone asked if accepted into the honors program, they need to take specific honors classes. Are they going to get that advice at advising at orientation, or how does that work?
I can help with that one actually. So the
Okay.
honors program coordinator registers them for their first honors class, and then their advisor schedules the rest of the courses around that. And so it'll be added to their schedule once they show up to launch, that we know they've shown up, then the honors course that they'll take their first semester will be added to their schedule.
Okay. Do you happen to know when people will hear back on
I just saw
decisions?
that question too. So I do know they're still conducting interviews. They had like double the amount of students apply this year as last year, which is exciting, but it also means they're still conducting interviews. So it might be a little while before they could get back to you regarding your status. But you can also email honors@tamucc.edu if you want to do a status update.
Thank you. Someone's asking, what should we bring entirely to orientation? Trennan, is there anything that they need to bring in order to pick up their student ID card?
Yeah, so for the student ID card, we just ask for a government issued ID. So whether that's passport, driver's license, or any Texas state ID or any state IDs that you would have, or two forms of alternative identification. If you have a social and a birth certificate or something like that, those would help as well.
And then again, if you needed to bring any unofficial copies of transcripts, that would be a good idea as well, just to play it safe. Someone is asking, when would we receive confirmation of Hazelwood benefits? All steps have been completed. I would just recommend reaching out to the Office of Military and Veteran Services. They can definitely assist you. Their email is vets, VETS, @tamucc.edu.
We're getting
Dr.
some questions about the PSA majors I was going to address really quickly, where they say
Okay.
that their PSA major at A&M shows different than what they chose on their sale account. So whatever is on your sale account, that's just the closest equivalent major that we do offer. So assuming that you are still following your course sheet as provided by TAMU, then your major will still be whatever major you chose with TAMU. So don't worry about what it says on your sale.
Okay, so someone's also asking if my advisor recommended for me that I should take 2 summer courses, but I believe it's too late now. Would I still be able to get registered for classes, or should I make an appointment as soon as possible to make a new course schedule prior? I guess that's more of a one-off question where they should contact their advisor individually.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
please contact your advisor so that way they can better assist based off of, academic history and open courses.
The thing that we're getting quite a few questions on, we're getting quite a few questions on housing as well as the PSA program. We're going through and we are trying to answer as many of those as we can. But one of the things we'd like to recommend is if you go to our website, tour www.tamucc.edu. We have previously held webinars on both the PSA program as well as Islander housing. And so you can watch those recordings there on our website and get your answers to a lot of questions that you have now, as well as questions that may come up in the future. So please make sure to go and scroll through those webinars.
All right, there's still a few questions here, and we'll try to get through as many as we can. Um, do you still need the $100 ID even if you're not living on campus?
Yes, so the Sandal ID is, I mean, not only for your housing, it's also to get into the gym. They do attendance at some events. And for your Islander dining, if you were to go for one of the commuter meal plans that we have. So it is your primary identification on campus as well. So if you get stopped for whatever reason, and they will need to identify that you actually belong, that'll be the primary thing that you would show the person. So yeah, definitely recommend getting.
Then lastly, somebody is asking if in sale it doesn't show that they have any missing requirements to register. Does that mean that they are all good to register? More than likely. You don't have any red flags and you should be good to go. Can transcripts be submitted through Parchment? Yes. Let's see. Do we move into the dorms during orientation? No. So housing move-in will take place in mid-August. So you'll need to get into your courses at orientation, and then you'll come back at the beginning of the semester to move in, and housing will follow up with you about your move-in dates. Can we also get help with all of this at orientation? Yes, you'll get all of the assistance that you need at orientation, but we want you to come to the event prepared. So if you needed to reach out to specific offices in advance, call us. We're open 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. So don't be afraid to reach out prior to coming to the event if you need assistance. Carrie, do you want to answer where can we see if transcripts have gone through?
So you can do a couple of things. You can either send us a quick email at recruitment@tamucc.edu. You can also check your degree works, and then that way you can see what actual credits have been added to your account already. So whatever is easier for you, we're happy to assist.
There's a little bit of questions about meal plans, Trenton, that we might want to just touch on. Is the first year meal plan something freshmen are automatically signed up for, or do you have to apply separately for it?
Yes, so the meal plans or the meal memberships are set based off of your housing status over at Miramar on-campus housing. So that is automatically assigned to your sale account and will be billed directly, and then it'll be going live the first day of move-in, which I think is August 21st, if I'm not mistaken. So once that day comes, your meal plan will automatically be active if you are living off campus or if you are a commuter student, and you can make those purchase for that meal plan directly.
Okay. There's a question in here, but I just can't understand it. Is the cost of the meal plan included with housing?
It gets billed directly, but it's not included with the housing cost. You'll see it as a separate line item through sale. It'll be identified. Mhm.
Thank you. All right, folks, if there's any last minute questions, we'll stay on for another 3 minutes or so. Please let us know if you have any questions. Julie, you might be able to help answer this one. Are we getting our housing contract during orientation?
So depends on when your orientation date is. So all first year housing contracts will be going out in mid-July. And so if you're coming to an early orientation in May or June, you will not have your housing assignment at that point. If you are coming to one of our end orientations in late July, you should already have your housing assignment by that point. And so they're all going out at one point this year in mid-July.
All right, any other last minute questions we can help answer? Is it possible to, so we're getting some housing questions, and so
yeah, that's
I
okay.
think
So I guess two things. Again, please consider going back to tours.tmu or tour.tamucc.edu. Click on webinars. A lot of these questions, particularly with housing and honors and financial aid, have been answered in some of those, and so you can get some more detailed. In regards to housing, you can go into your portal, the housing portal, and if you've already submitted an application, if you need to make any changes to that housing application, you can do it at that point. You also, if you have particular roommates that you want to live with, those roommate selections and the roommate groupings, once you've gotten your application in for housing, you can then make your roommate selections. Those do need to be submitted prior to the end of this month. So prior to the end of May in order to make sure that you get selected with your roommates.
This is another question about meal plans. I think someone's asking if they need to put in their own money into a meal plan. I'm assuming they're asking about a declining balance.
So yeah, we have several different options for meal plans, declining balance, and block plans essentially. Those specifics can be kind of found on our website there, but if you are doing a dining dollar or declining balance option, yes, it would be a dollar for dollar. You can add it to the plan, but if you're living on campus and have that residency requirement, it'll be billed to your sale account, so it would be covered through financial aid or other means of payment that way. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Kendall, I see your question, and I'm sorry I accidentally hit that. I was going to answer this live instead of typing it. But if you wanted to see this recording later, you can visit tour, dot TAMUCC dot edu. It's our campus tour website. Oh, thank you, Julie, for putting in. Oh, this is the meal plan info. But tour.tamucc.edu. When you click on that website, you'll see an online experiences and webinars button. At that point, you can see this recording, and I hope to get it up hopefully by tomorrow, the latest. All right, so seeing that there are no more questions, we'll wrap it up. But thank you everybody for joining us today and helping answer some of these questions. And if there's any other things we can assist with y'all, please feel free to contact our offices directly, including housing if you have housing questions, Sand Dollar for meal plan questions, the orientation office if you have any orientation questions. We are here to help you Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Everybody have a great rest of your night, and we'll stay in touch. So keep an eye on your Islander emails. Have a great night.